are the 4th of May 2024 and it's been a while since I've done any yapping on camera. It all just feels weird. Everything has just been mental overall. Work, other film work, life, just everything. So I'm working on trying to work on Retract, which was a song that I wrote, fucking hell, it's like years ago, and I put out like a live version thing. So I thought, I'll give it this a go, and it's actually I find it a really difficult track to play. There's quite a lot going on, and keeping it in time into that click on this, and it's just been sounding in and out, and then I think I've got it, and I don't know if it's slightly changing a tempo at one point. I'm trying to decide whether to go acoustic with it, electric with it, a mixture of it, and I don't know what it is. There's just certain bits that the guitars just don't sound right on this recording. It's gone direct into the interface. I tried it with the mic, but then for some reason, like, the mic just wasn't sounding right at all. I'm actually finding this track to be an absolute fucking twat. I kind of know what I want with it, and I can't get it to work, and it's getting more and more frustrating. I've been doing this thing for days. I lost all the fucking software, or the track I should say. Luckily there was a backup, but it's backed up only to a certain point from when I'd done all this other work. It's just that I don't know why this track's giving me such a headache. It sounds like there's too much going on, so I stripped out loads and it still sounds too much. And the guitar, I've restrung the guitar, put new strings on, let them settle, recorded them, messed with the input, messed with effects. I don't know, it's just giving me a headache. It's one of them where it just feels like it's not working, and I can't figure out why or what I'm doing or not doing, and it's pissing me off. Basically, it's pissing me off. So I've been working on the track Retract. Did a bunch of work on it last night, did a bit this afternoon, and I've come back to open it and the file's corrupted. Brilliant! And for some reason even the backup file on the other driver seems to be missing media file corruption. So fuck knows what's happened, which means it's wiped out the whole fucking guitar section. Potentially it's wiped out some vocal stuff. It's nothing but a fucking nightmare, this track. I don't know why. That's twice it's done that to me now. Could be this hard drive, I don't fucking know, but it's wiped it, which means it needs re-recording. What the fuck? What the fuck? So the track Retract is the cursed track. Nothing but issues, nothing but computer issues, nothing but them losing files. I've done a copy, well I've done a mix, whatever you, I don't know, I've done a version. It's just shit. It's shit, I hate it. Don't sound right, the mix isn't right, the timing's out, there's too much going on. So I just got that one out of the way with, and then started working on Dirt in the Water, and I had this other little piano piece as well, which I then, like on an evening, didn't work and stuff, I just started dicking about with that. Kind of got a little piece thing together, and I just added these bunch of lyrics and an idea, and it's kind of come together really quickly. I've just thrown a load of bits down the other day for it, and a couple of ideas, just a really rough like demo-y thing, so it all needs neatening up properly. Currently we are the 11th of May. I missed the whole Northern Lights palaver last night. Why? Because I had my ass stuck between headphones trying to mix some tracks. So I missed all that. Anyway, going back to the thing with Retract, I think I'm just going to redo the whole fucking lot. Because it never felt right from the start. And that's what I'm doing right now, just trying to get some basic guitar bits down, and maybe just start it again, come at it fresh, which obviously just puts everything behind, but it's got to sound right to the best extent I can do. And every time I keep hearing the one that I've got, as much as I've got there to an extent, it's just fucking me off. So I think we're going to redo it, which is what you sometimes have to do. What are we on? 25th of May. Like I was saying, I have lost files. I've tried to look for them, tried to search, it's like nothing's fucking saved. So all the work, it's just, I don't get it. So I have to redo a ton of shit. So the track, Undone, it's just like totally gone. It didn't even save as a WAV file, but pretty much all the vocal stuff's gone. Maybe I should have gone sooner. Maybe I should have moved away. Piano, all the guitar stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Re-recorded, retracked the curse track. That's all gone, and I found bits for Dirt in the Water, but all the bits where I did all the electric guitar, all what I'd edited and mixed and then was working on the drums, it's like that doesn't even exist. It's like nothing is saved, and it's reverted back to where it was from. So I've lost months of work basically. So I'm gonna have to redo it again. So trying to get this fucking album done is just becoming ridiculous. It's starting to feel like I'm getting to breaking point. Now I've lost all that work. But in the end I persevered. So bit the bullet, went back, re-recorded all the missing parts. Except for Undone, I had a master copy of that which I'd sent to my phone, as I said, and I just sent that back and just resaved that in the master track folders, and left it to the side. I wasn't sure if I was going to go back and try and redo it or not. I didn't know if I wanted to even open that file ever again, which in the end, once I got further and got back on track, Undone was a song that I did feel that I wanted to put on the album. There's reasons why I think it works with the album and with the whole film idea concept as well, and how that song just kind of fits in with all the other songs that are involved in it. I remember being cautious about it. I want to say I finished it and I mastered it, hence why I'd sent it to my phone, so I could listen on other external devices. I think there was a part of me that was going to go back and just retouch up bits and pieces, just fine tune it a bit. And because I'd lost the entire files, the whole damn thing had gone, I couldn't do that. And it was making a decision going, is as it is and mixed, and that version of it suitable enough to go on the album? And in the end I took the decision of, it's going to have to be, it'll work, it's fine. I went back to that mindset of, if I want to go back and re-record this another time later on down the line, and there's another version, or it appears later on elsewhere, then so be it. And that this whole process is a raw process, that it's not all perfect, that there is glitches, and the balances of levels are probably not as good as what
somebody else can make them to be, and so on and so on. And I didn't want the disaster that happened, and it was a disaster in my eyes, losing that amount of work, losing all that, and then having to go back and redo it all. I didn't want to lose that one song that I knew fitted with all the other songs on this record, and so I decided to go with that mix as it was and put it on the album.
Oh, God, yeah, and I forgot, because that's all. And I retweaked all that, didn't I? Oh, it's lost so much fucking work that I did, I've just realised. Oh, fuck. I'm just so fucked off. I'm gonna have to re-sort all this fucker out, because all the editing I did before with the track, it's now gone back to what it was, which means there's bits that aren't tallying with the way it should, which means the bit of recording I was gonna do. What fucking joke.
So I think part of the realisation was, on this track it had reverted to a certain point, which was basically really at the starting point. So I'd laid in a couple of little bits and pieces. I can't remember precisely what it was. When I'd done whatever recordings before, I had to mess with them and retweak them and then re-leveled them, and I changed certain bits to do with the structures and stuff. And I vaguely remember that it took me a long time to sort of get it to this baseline level. And then I started adding all the other extra instruments and other guitar bits. And then I hit that point when I realised it had reverted so far back. All that remixing and chopping and changing bits and pieces had all gone as well. It had gone back to a certain foundation point, which required then all of that work to be redone.
'Cause I can't face, no, I can't face going through all what I've done before. It's the 29th of May 2024. I have been working on Dirt in the Water, and I think I've mixed it. So I think everything's done, potentially. It's got this kind of gritty thing going on that's underlining. I don't know if it's because of the mix with the guitars and the vocals and stuff, and I've probably compressed it way too much. But I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But yeah, there is still that whole thing of 3 months worth of work that's just all gone fucking missing and sidebarred, and fuck knows where it's gone. Which means repeating stuff. Some bits I've got odds and ends and things. I seem quite chipper right now, don't I, about it? I'm not. But it's another track, hopefully, and hopefully this will save properly, and hopefully we won't fucking lose this, because if I lose all this as well right now, I am going to be fucking even more fucked off than fuckity fuck. But yeah, that's whereabouts we're at. So I wrote this sometime during COVID, or like just before COVID, or it was kind of like the beginning of, because there was a whole work thing that was going on, and I did a version of this and a cheesy ass lame video as part of a whole thing. So what are we, 2024? I think I wrote this about 3 years ago.
We got 3 years, and then we looked at adapting it when I was in touch with Matt, and now we're at this point. Fucking hell, in another 10 years it might get released. It's the 1st of June, and I've been working on the 3rd recording of the track, Retract, after the whole palaver of losing everything. Still don't know what the fuck happened. Well, we're getting somewhere with this. It feels different than before. It actually feels a bit more tighter, actually. So it's coming up to 10 o'clock, and I've got work in a few hours, so I'm just trying to get some vocal work done. Got a shadow and it follows wherever I go. It won't listen, refuses to leave me alone, and nothing is done until it's all said and done, and I'm not ready in letting you go. I'm still trying to work out what happened to all the folders and files, because I swear it does this thing. I'm still trying to learn it. When you save the stuff in a collect all, then it dumps whatever the last stuff back into another recycled bin thing, and then I don't know if that got corrupted and then fucked everything else up and then wiped it. I don't know. Am I over it? Well, I'm working. That's not really lame, isn't it? It's just annoying knowing what happened. But let's not go on about it. We're on the move trying to get these bits recorded. I still keep forgetting to document. What are we on today? 29th of June. Working on Let Me Go track, and I totally forgot how the fuck you played it. So I had to go back to an old video. Hilarious. Because of Jade Day. It's the old days. So that's tomorrow. She says, let me go. Let me go tonight. So, this is probably going to take several takes. About it, or we can let this just be. Let Me Go, I wrote probably over 4, 5, 6 years ago now, and I brought it to the band. So when we had the 126 band at uni, and we messed around with it, and I think we performed it a couple of times, and then one time when the band had just ended up whittling down to about 3 of us, 2 of us, and we did a gig at uni, and we had some special guests, and we sort of changed it maybe a little bit, and we brought Sophie in, and she did a brilliant job on singing a duet with me at the time. Oh, what went so wrong? And then a few years later, when I was going back through archives of material, I went back to this song, and I didn't mind it as it was when we originally did it. It was a lot slower, probably more of a ballad, but I wanted to see if I could do something new with it. So I went back, I rewrote lyrics, I sped up the tempo, I took some bits in, took some bits out, and sort of came up with a version 2 of it and messed with that. And then for the album, I pretty much kept with what I'd rewritten, and I had to go back and watch an old video to go and remember certain bits, because I think I was playing a third version and it wasn't kind of maybe sounding right. So I went back and watched this video just to remind myself for a few bits and pieces, and then set to work recording on it. It came about fairly quickly once all the basic foundation work was done, and then it was just working with maybe some new ideas with the vocals. It would have been nice to get a female vocalist in, which was an idea, but then I thought, because of this whole process and I'm doing absolutely everything myself, I just decided that this album version, let's say, it had just been my own vocals. So I got it all done, and I think the only thing I find with this one, after I got it all mastered, actually it was sent off and everything, listening back, because it's kind of strange, because there's maybe some words that don't come through too clear, or they kind of sound like other words, and I don't know if it's one of these things in how you pronounce, and it's something you have to learn with how you pronounce certain words down the microphone, and then how that picks up, and then when it's played back it can sound slightly different, and I maybe didn't realise at the time when I was recording this one. So in my ear, when I'm listening back now, after I've got everything further than mastered and the album complete, I didn't want to go back and re-mess with it. I kind of thought of it as one of these, well, I'll let the listener try and figure out what it is that I'm singing.
Where are we at? We are the 24th of June. This one's proving challenging. So I haven't done any documenting, have I? I think the track anymore's all done. Though it sounds weird through a speaker. Yeah. We're getting there, slowly. But this one is proving a bit of a twat with the timing.
So I tend to do this at an open mic night, so you're in it early if I end up playing Monday night, but we'll see. So this one's called Anymore.
I then started working on Anymore. The track Anymore I'd written several years ago. That was one that I'd always perform kind of at open mic nights. It's a song that's very close to me, but that I think I've played it a few times live now, and now we've got this version, and when we had the uni band we sort of did a little version of it as well, when it was just me and piano player Paul, and it was important that this song was on this record. Yeah, it's kind of another version of it, and so I always try and get that one right, which I don't know by the final master mix if it is exactly how I wanted it or envisioned it. And again, I don't know if that's with those areas of learning of trying to fill the sound out. You've got so much space left, so much space right, and I had ideas of several different lines all flowing into each other and over the top of each other, and it kind of being a bit disjointed, distorted, noisy, chattery, banter sort of stuff that was overlaying and overlaying and overlaying, whilst the main vocal line is supposed to cut through the whole top of that, and it sort of works. I think there's bits where it gets a bit mixed, but it was difficult with that track, only because as it builds up towards the end, and then how the vocal lines increase and become louder to the point where I'm pretty much nearly shouting it, that can distort in the mic a lot, and so it was trying to keep those balance levels right. But I got it to where I was happy with it, and then I got that one done and mastered and ticked off on the list. And then I had a few other songs that I was debating about putting on the album. I had this one song, it was fairly loose, kind of poppy-ish. There was kind of an idea behind it in maybe how I wanted that sound, and maybe it was going to sound potentially different again to the other songs on the album. You know, how far afield do you change the sound on the album that it's too far away from everything else that's going on there? I'm not too sure. So I had an idea for this one song, and then I had one of my older songs, which was called Letting You In. And I knew I had it there, I had it at the side. And as I was figuring out which tracks I wanted on the album, and then looking at recording just, another, whatever, half a dozen other tracks, and then maybe deciding. And then I remembered I had Letting You In, and I realised, again, I think how important the song needed to be on this album as well, because it just fitted in with the whole concept. And I think I wrote that not far off around the time of the other pieces that appear on this album. And so instead of going off and working on a whole new song idea that I had going that I was maybe going to put on there, I then began work on Letting You In, and working with that and getting that in the bag as well.
So tell me, when now does your heart flame and burn?
So I carried on recording the album. I think I got Dirty in the Water finished, all the other bits that needed re-recording, got all that done, got all that mixed, mastered, got that one out the way with, and then was starting working on All I Want, All I Do, and Retract, and then Let Me Go. I started bashing through them, not as quick as possible, but I had to get back into a flow, I had to get back into the vibe and the mindset of continuing recording this record. And so I just put my head down and went to work, I think, on those 3 tracks. Not necessarily all at once, but I think I laid down certain foundations and then just started picking them off. And when I got them done, I think, if I remember rightly, I'd already got Rustin' in the Rain done as that piano version rather than the guitar version.
It's all because of you.
Alright. I keep forgetting to document. I'm trying to multitask. I'm playing one of the album tracks through the headphones, just testing it. So, just try and update everyone. There we go. Right. Let's grab this off the tripod. Okay, so we are the 7th of June 2024. And I thought, fuck it. I was going to do it on the 10th, but I'm getting tattooed tomorrow, and I thought, fuck it, let's just do a big combined thing. And because of work and shit like that. I keep looking at the screen, I should be looking there. Hello, people. Anyway, let's start again. 7th of June. I've just sorted it out, done the artwork, finished it off, tried to make sure I got all the sizes and shit right. Anyway, let's cut the crap. So basically, we have, let's see if we can get it. I have uploaded, it's not going to focus, are you? There we go. The next single. Ready to be released on the 8th of July. And we've done it, and the lyrics are up. So we'll see how that goes. Forever Falling, due to be released tomorrow, 8th of July 2024 via DistroKid across all the streaming platforms. New artwork. Yeah, I've just done it. So I've done all that now because I'm going out for drinks.
So I started working through and trying to decide on which songs I wanted on this album. I maybe had, a rough idea for the 12, or was it going to be 13? I had a few others potentially that I was going to start work on. There was some from back catalogue that I maybe thought, well, that could work on this album. And so once I got All I Want, All I Do done, I got Retract done, I got Let Me Go done. I decided on Letting You In would work on this album. I was maybe going to start recording another idea for another new song that maybe could appear on it, and Any More was done. So I got to, I think, where I had between the 10 and 12 tracks done. And I was listening through, and then I was trying to work out what sort of order this would run in. I was thinking about the film concept as well, and trying to work it out on a timeline, and knowing the nature of the songs and how would it work storytelling wise, and so on and so on. And then I figured, did I have an opening track? And I remember sort of listening through a few and thinking, well, maybe that one could, but I don't want that one to go first because that doesn't kind of follow the sequence of what I was starting to structure in my mind. And I just needed something as an opening track. So I went to work on the song Are You In? And, you know, I as soon as I started writing it and getting a feel for it, I knew it was kind of another pop punk type song, which, you know, I wanted something that kicked everything off on this record. And I wrote it fairly quickly and pretty much got that one in the bag as soon as possible. And then I think I went back and was just finishing and tweaking and just remixing a little bit of a few of the other tracks. And then I realised I had 13 songs, and I went through them and put them in order of what I was thinking, and that swapped and changed several times. More of like the second half of the album, you know, I knew roughly what order I wanted and how it was going to go through. But yeah, I messed around with it several times until I finally settled on an order on the 13 tracks I wanted. The other ones that I had on the back burner, I decided, okay, they're probably going to appear on the second album, but I didn't want to think too far ahead whilst I'm still trying to finish off the first album. And yeah, I think it kind of hit me and going, I've got my album. I've got songs for my album. Now what? Start the process of getting this album finished off. And how was that going to work? I knew with this album it was going to go on streaming services, but I'm also old school in that I do like the physical as well. I wanted a physical CD copy because I'm very much for one to being able to hold a piece of art in your hand, to physically feel it, to see the artwork on the album cover and inside, and to pop that disc out and put it in a player and sit back and you listen to it. I went to work on creating the album artwork, so that was doing the photo shoots and then editing them photos and tweaking things, and then finding a company I wanted to use, which I eventually found, and went through the process of starting to put all of that together to send off. And I went about getting that sorted, which was a pretty quick turnaround. Once all the artwork was done and finalised and then sent off, the bit what I had to sort out was how to get the master tracks in order onto a master CD. And I was trying to research about that, and I wasn't 100% sure, which, again, I contacted Matt at HMS Studios, explained where I was up to at this point, and about sorting out a master CD. That Matt offered to help me out with that. So I went round, saw Matt at his studio, caught up with him, and he sorted out putting the master CD together for me, which was great. Got that sorted, got all that sent off, all the artwork, and within less than a week I had the physical copy of the album sat on my lap, and it's crazy.
So I've just been to see Matt at HMS Studios to give me a hand to master the CD to be sent off to be duplicated. We've just got that done, so it'll be ready to send once I get all the other bits and pieces sorted, which is pretty exciting. So it's 3rd of August. I've just been to pick up the album. As we see, just opened it. I'm quite happy. Quite happy. That's mad. That is mad. It's there. Holy shit.
Yeah, before I know it, the physical printed copy of the album was in front of me. I think it was just a mixed bag of kind of emotions in response to it. There's a bit where you're just kind of, how the hell did I get here? How is this album been done? And I've got the physical copy sat here now in front of me, and the process is finished. I mean, yes, you continue recording, which I'm going to do, and I have been, and, you know, you work towards the next album or EP or whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and I've got a couple of ideas for things, and already sort of maybe looking at a concept again for the next album. But yeah, you sat there and you're in gobsmack of going, here's my album, it's here, it's done. I've just got to figure out release date and promoting it, and when is that going to be? And on another hand, sort of thinking, well, I don't have another song to go and work on for this album, you know, sort of like tonight. I don't need to sit down and start messing with that track because the album's done. Like I say, of course, that didn't stop me because I already had a couple of other songs that I started working on and started recording them, because there's one for the next album that you know, I really was quite liking. And I don't know, I just sort of remember kind of like, I wasn't like bouncing around and jumping off the walls going, oh my god, it's here. There's a little bit where I was just flat as well, and then at the same time just gobsmacked the fact I'd managed to put an album together which I made in a bedroom, crammed in, minimal devices, and putting an album together that I'd been wanting to do for 20 years, and it sat there in front of me. It was a bit surreal. It was quite a surreal thing, and to think I'd done all that myself from start to finish. And then you know, you go back through and you remember how many hours you'd put in, how many long days, late nights, the amount of work I lost, the amount of heartbreak, the moments of feeling achievement, getting another track mastered, or figuring out an issue and getting it to the best you can, and yeah, just this whole sort of weird mixed bag, to then realise, here's your album, here's your debut album, and it's sat here in front of you, ready for people to listen to. I didn't think it would happen. It's just surreal, all that work, and here we are. We have an album.
About it, or let it just be. Is it really the start of something? I was too damn late to see. I know lately it's been hard.